You know, I always find it really hard to sort of answer people when they ask me how I'm doing. And I think the main reason for that is because I'm not really sure. Because how do you say, well, yet another person has come up against me to sabotage my entire life yet again? How do you say, oops, I trusted someone else and they actually had ulterior motives the entire time and they were able to follow through with their plan of helping me lose everything that I just gained? How do you say, I've been running for my life, getting so distracted by being confused at why these people who claim to love me woke up one day and decided that they hate me and they now have to follow through with this vendetta that they have against me, that I am the enemy? How do you say, who's putting these thoughts in their head to make them feel like I'm the enemy? What makes them feel like, even if I was the enemy, that they need to take it to this level of sabotage? What makes them feel justified in their head that even if I was the enemy, do I deserve what they're doing to me to this extent? And what makes them not ask, if I am indeed the enemy, what did I do to them? What makes them think I'm the enemy? Didn't they just love me yesterday? So when people ask me how I'm doing, it's become such a feeling for me to just live in a state of isolation, because who do I trust? But isn't that what the enemy wants anyways? For you to not be able to trust anybody? Isn't that what they want? Isn't that really what they want? How do you say, do you know how far ahead I would be in life if I didn't have to deconstruct and reconstruct every fucking time somebody comes up against me and jeopardizes and sabotages everything that I've worked so hard to build? How do you answer that question? Don't you think it's weird that everybody who once loved you so much, that you trusted, that you poured into, that you built legacies with, that you advanced with, that you helped uplift, that watched you struggle and watched you hustle and watched you work your ass off to get where you are today, for them to one day wake up and convince themselves that you in fact were the enemy and that you don't need those things that you worked hard for, even though you've helped them as well, that you don't deserve those things somehow. And it creates this storm of observation, nosiness, jealousy, envy, comparison. And then they just develop a bad taste in their mouth and they convince themselves you don't need those things, even though they watched you rebuild and earn them and survive what others couldn't. They then convince themselves it's time for you to have everything get lost again. So while you're sitting there thinking, wow, I finally have done it again for the 99,000th time. I've finally rebuilt my life again. And I've worked by myself independently and I've helped others. And I finally got everything back that I lost. And I finally found someone I could trust. And here they come to take it all away again. They don't even realize at this point, why do I feel this way about this person? What's the reason why I feel the need to attack them and ruin their life all of a sudden when I just loved them yesterday? But that's the way it goes, doesn't it? That's just what it is, isn't it? That's the way the cookie crumbles. Because how do you explain, no, I don't have a victim complex. No, I'm not mentally ill. No, I'm not paranoid thinking everyone's out to get me. But I in fact know that I've done nothing wrong to these people, because by the time their mood shifts and you start to think, what did I do? How can I fix this? I would never want to upset them. I value them and our connection, and I would never want to have them think I did anything intentionally to upset them. Let me correct this. And you spend days and weeks and months and years sometimes trying to correct what they've convinced you that you've done, until after the 30th time this happens, you realize, I know for a fact I haven't done anything wrong, and even if I did, what deserves this? Because the way that they try to take you out, and it's never just one person, believe me. It's never just one person. They have to get a group of people together to come against you on a regular basis. Because with your light and with your heart and with your soul and with the power that you have inside you, do you know how far you would be if you didn't have to start over every time? If you weren't constantly finally getting above ground and having to climb yourself out of the hole to finally get to the surface to be knocked down again. Could you imagine if you never got knocked down? Could you imagine if they didn't try to take you out? Could you imagine if you got to just continue your life at a regular pace? And could you imagine if you actually saw the results of the effort that you were putting into it? So when it's all said and done, you finally learn you can't trust anybody. And you become isolated. You isolate yourself and you don't trust anybody. Because every time you do, it's just a terrible fucking thing that occurs. But isn't that what the enemy wants? Because I'm sure there are people that you actually should be collaborating with that are out there somewhere. But you won't even allow yourself to get to that point anymore because you've now lost so much at the hands of others who have made you their enemy. This is why they always come back, because they don't understand what happened either. This is why they always come back, because they know that they loved you. They don't even know what made them hate you in the first place. They half the time don't even apologize because they don't even think they did anything wrong because it really wasn't even them doing it. We understand that it's much bigger than these people that come against us. We understand that it's much darker and deeper than the people that attack us. And it's hard for us to hate them because at the end of the day, it wasn't ever really them. It was never just them, and we know that. We understand what our calling is in this life. But wouldn't it be nice to one day just have somebody ask you how you're doing and you just say, "Oh, I'm good, how are you?" Maybe in the next lifetime.